This is Sharika, you are 1 for CS 122. This is experiment 8 in DBMS. We are going to see how to write PLSQL programs using triggers and cursors. So first question is to create a simple trigger that does not allow insert, update or delete operations on a supplier table. For that we use create or replace trigger T1, that is the trigger name, before insert or update or delete on suppliers, the table name, and begin we use an inbuilt function raise application error and we display don't do that end, and the trigger is created. We can also do that by using this the same way. We are using create or replace trigger name and before insert all that stuff for each row, begin if for each attribute. If the new attribute is not equal to the old attribute, then we are displaying this. If the new attribute, the next attribute, and so on, using if then else. And the next, even that works. And the next question is to create a trigger to ensure that it does not contain any duplicates. For that we use create trigger name after insert on suppliers, that is the table name for each row, and then we use begin if exists, select all attributes from table suppliers, inner join inserted I, that is the values that are inserted, that is the inserted supplier ID is equal to the if the inserted supplier ID equal to the supplier ID that is on the table suppliers, and if the inserted S date is equal to the supplier date on the table, then we are raising an error saying duplicate data. Next question is to create a trigger that raises a user defined error message and does not allow updating on order table. So we use create or replace trigger name before update on table name, declare begin. Again we use a raise application error. Here we say no updation is permitted. Next question is write a PLSQL script to display the supplier details who has rating greater than 3. And this we are supposed to use cursors. So for that, first we are declaring the variables SID and we are putting the supplier ID on the table suppliers into it, and percentage type is when we don't know the data type. It can take a percentage type, can take any data type. Same way we are declaring a variable for S name, the supplier name, the gender, the date and all that, and then now the cursors. So syntax for cursor is cursor name is, and we're using the select statement. Select all these attributes from table suppliers by rating greater than 3, and then we're using begin. Then we are open cursor name loop. We are fetching the cursor name into all these all the variables that we declared, and then we are exiting when C supplier percentage not found. This is implicit cursor. The difference between implicit and explicit cursor is an implicit cursor is declared by it's given by Oracle. It is an inbuilt kind of thing. But when it's explicit, it's declared by the user. Like we use cursor name, and open, fetch, and all that stuff. So then this is an implicit cursor, and if it is not found, it displays here. And then end, and we are closing it. The next is to write a PLSQL script to display the product names whose product quantity is greater than 10 using cursors. The same way we are declaring a variable and storing the attribute product ID into product ID from order quantity table into this attribute, and the same thing ordered quantity from order quantity table into this attribute, and using cursor name, that is C product S, and select product ID, ordered quantity, these two attributes from order quantity table where order quantity is greater than 10. Then we're open C product, that is the cursor name, and then we are displaying the product IDs here, and fetch. If it is not found, this statement gets executed. Then we are closing the cursor. And then the next question is write a trigger to update the order table whenever the customer ID is updated in the customer table. So for that we use create trigger name after update on customer for each row, begin if new dot customer ID is not equal to old dot customer ID, then we are updating that on the order table. We are updating the customer ID on the order table where the order ID equal to the new order ID entered. Next is to write a PLSQL block to display an implicit cursor for the any two of the given tables. So for that, the implicit cursor is what I said before. It is already here. It is already an inbuilt thing given by Oracle. So then we use declare. We are declaring a variable number data type begin. We are updating order quantity table, and we are setting the attribute ordered quantity as we are setting the order quantity. We are adding ordered quantity, the quantity. Then if that particular thing is not found, then it displays no order selected. And if the order quantity attribute is there, then it counts the number of rows that has the order quantity attribute, and that is what this row count does, and it displays here. Same thing we are doing to the table product. And here we are displaying PLSQL block to display explicit cursor for a given table. So in this we use explicit cursors, and for that we are declaring the attributes. We are declaring the variables first, and then the cursor name. We are using a cursor, and then we are using select attribute, and then begin. We are opening the cursor loop and then fetching it. We are fetching all these attributes, and then we exit the loop when the customer thing is when there is nothing is found. We are exiting the loop, or else we are displaying all the following attributes, and then we are closing the cursors. So this is our experiment 8.